These next couple of months are going to be brutal for the WWE 2K24 life cycle, and I'm here to tell you guys why. Let's go on ahead and get into it. Just to begin, we just got the ECW Punk pack about a week or two ago, and man, that pack was amazing. Personally, loved it. The Dudley Boys, CM Punk, Terry Funk, the Sandman, they just got everything and just every detail possible. Now, they're going to follow up after we're up here and bring us right back down here with the Post Malone and Friends pack. It's a decent pack. You have Jimmy Hart, manager, you have Sensational Sherry, you have Post Malone, but the women are not being shown no love in these DLC packs. Yeah, we're getting Sensational Sherry, but I think she's literally the only women we're getting till September 20th. And remember that date, September 20th. We're going to talk about it a lot during this video. Then you have the Pat McAfee pack, which I have a huge gripe with, and I don't understand why it bothers me so much, but it does. You have a bunch of guys that have not stepped foot in a ring, aside from Pat McAfee, who is, you know, in the WWE with commentary, whatever the case is. You got his co-hosts that are football players, whatever they are. And nobody really knows these guys in the wrestling world unless you really follow the NFL and you know what these guys did in the past. Now, that pack really does bother me because it should be an optional pack. It shouldn't be a pack that we should have to just buy with the season pass. It should be like the Bad Bunny pack last year that was $10 that we were able to go on ahead and attain if you wanted it or not. That's the only way that this should have been attained. It should not be as part of the season pass, something that is just taking up a slot. It shouldn't happen that way, and I would have preferred them to just say, hey, here is the DLC for the Global Stars pack. Here is the DLC for the WCW pack in September, and just get rid of the Pat McAfee pack as a whole. At least with the Post Malone and Friends pack, we are getting some real wrestlers. We're getting some real life personas, but you look at that Pat McAfee pack and it's just disappointment written all over it. When you really think about it, we're going to be 3 months without some concrete solid content because we're going to be getting that DLC that absolutely makes no sense for a large portion of the fan base. If you're from out of the country, and yeah, you know Pat McAfee from doing his commentary for WWE, but you don't know his co-host, and you are basically spending money for this pack, and you don't even know the co-host or any of these people because you're not in the loop. You live outside the country, just like, you know, the Target situation with MyFaction Persona cards. If you live in Canada, you cannot get any of the Persona cards because there is no Target in Canada. So just to give you guys a different perspective when it comes to just this DLC pack. The Pat McAfee pack, they can make it cool if they add little different details here and there. Like the ECW Punk pack, they added lots of details with the weapons and things like that. Like if they give us something similar to that on top of the DLC, that can definitely make the content a lot better in my opinion. And I think that it can go a little bit further than it would. But when you look at those next couple of months after that DLC pack, we're going all the way from July to September without no content, and I think that that is also another huge issue with these DLC packs being all the way spread out. Then you look at the WCW pack, which is all the way close to the end of November, which I'm excited for that pack as well. You got DDP, Mr. Perfect. It's an incredible pack, but you're telling me that I have 3 months basically to really live that pack. And I think that's another problem as well. By the time we get to January, we're already talking about the rollout of WWE 2K25, the next 2K game. We're already talking about it. Hey, when is that coming? And the WCW pack is basically giving us a month and some change right before we want to already drop 2K24 because 25 is already on the way out in March. So that is a problem that I have as well with how spread out the DLC is. At first, I think that I might have liked it a bit, like, oh, there's a lot of content that we're waiting for. But it's just a very long time for us to receive this content. You're talking about March to November, and that's when it finally ends. And yeah, it makes it seem like there's more content because of how spread out it is, and that extra Pat McAfee pack, which I think it's absolutely BS in my opinion. So you look at things like that, and you're like, okay, what's going on? What's going to happen here? Now, just to talk a little bit about the WrestleMania arena, I've heard that it's supposed to come out over the summer. I remember it being teased for the summer. Somebody said something about that WrestleMania pack dropping in around July, August, which it would make sense because they would try to have this drop as filler, but it's just an arena, and it's the WrestleMania 40 arena, which honestly should be in the game already. They were there to, do whatever they have to do. It shouldn't take that many months, and I get it, man. The development cycle, I don't know much about it. It's just that I see, modders, creators getting it done so fast, and it looks so authentic and just like the real thing itself that you got to question, like, does 2K really need this much time to get this in there? It's already been a month and some change after WrestleMania, so you can only hope that the arena does make the game soon. I am excited to see that in the game, simply because we have not seen the WrestleMania arenas updated like this. We've never seen that before, so it kind of gives you like a live service type of vibe. So that's cool. I'm not really hating on that. I just wish that it was in the game earlier. I wish that the women were getting some love in the DLC. Right now, we got the ECW Punk pack, no women in there. Pat McAfee pack, no women. You got the Post Malone pack, I believe one woman in there. And then you go all the way down to September. You get Jade Cargill, you get Kairi Sane, and that's pretty much it. And then the WCW pack does not have any women, if I'm not mistaken. It might. I got to pull it up. But let me not forget Lyra Valkyria as well. She is going to be part of the Global Stars pack, which in my opinion, she should have been in the game day one. Kairi and Jade, I understand, but Lyra should have been in the game. She's been NXT champion. She's been around for a minute, so definitely should have been in the game. And then you got MyFaction, the phenomenon of MyFaction. So MyFaction to me was going to be that mode that filled in those gaps throughout the months. After we've seen with The Rock, I have no hopes at the moment. I hope that, things, fix themselves, go up, but I don't know with this mode at the moment. You look at the Rock Persona card, great idea, loved it. I just hated the way that it was executed. And if this is the way that they plan on grabbing people throughout the summer, then you can consider me out. And I think that MyFaction could be a very nice mode to grind content, get persona cards, get people talking, because look at what it did for an entire week. Just had people talking. So if MyFaction can continue to do that and just, put out good content, execute it correctly, don't look so greedy when doing things, then it'd be a different ball game, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So just things like that, man, you definitely want to see being improved. But these next 4 months, if nothing is dropped through MyFaction or something crazy, I'm hoping the final boss Rock is put in the game with the entrance motion and everything. I could see that happening around the time that they put the WrestleMania 40 arena in. So that's one thing as well that we may be seeing later on throughout the year, because this Rock, they didn't update nothing but added a new attire. So if we can get another Rock, which is going to be crazy money-wise, don't get me wrong, but I would just love to see it in general. So these next 4 months, we got a lot to not do. I got a lot to come up with, because it's going to be hard coming up with content without nothing constantly coming out giving us that good content. I mean, right now the Pat McAfee pack is going to serve as just jobbers. You're going to be able to put those guys in matches, beat the crap out of them, and move on with your day. So hey man, let me know how you guys feel about these DLC packs. If you have any suggestions on how to fix MyFaction, there is the video. You guys can go click on that and check it out. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna catch y'all. Peace.